introduce yourself and tell us who you represent.
Debbie Dooley, Green Tea Coalition. I'm on the board of directors of Tea Party Patriots, co-founder of Atlanta Tea Party. They represent Tea Parties across Georgia. One of the things that I would like to say where we have in common is that we believe in the free market. Conservatives claim to believe in the free market. A monopoly is not a free market by any stretch of the imagination. This bill will give consumers choice. It will allow a choice in a monopoly that I don't believe is acting in the best interest of ratepayers any longer. We don't have the money to donate to legislatures. We don't have the money to hire lobbyists. We're volunteers.
That's not necessary, Ms. Dooley.
I know. So, I mean, we are volunteers. And we actually took a survey of over 500 people about our ratepayers' Bill of Rights, which includes choice. 93.7% support choice in energy. It's a national security issue as well. I'm working with a group, Frank Gaffney. I don't know if you guys know him, very good with national security. They're concerned, they reached out to me in Green Tea Coalition, they're concerned about the grid. They're concerned about electromagnetic pulses. They're concerned about the fact that there is nothing more centralized in our nation than our power grid. There was a report that was commissioned in 2007 that was completed in 2007 under the Bush administration as for the vulnerability of the grid. And it was very vulnerable with the grid. There were news reports about it. Alternative energy allows decentralization of this grid. It allows protection. We believe in consumer choice. If you don't vote this bill out of committee, you're voting against consumer choice and against the free market. This is something that we believe in. We believe that there should be choice. There should be competition to Georgia Power. I find it ironic that they are trying to protect their monopoly. We are drawing people's attention and our activists' attention to the influence that Georgia Power and their lobbyists have under the Gold Dome on different issues, especially since that bill passed in 2011 that overturned a 40-year ban on them being able to contribute directly to elected officials. We're going to be sending out an email when the legislative session begins and just list all their contributions. They do a good job, but they treat us like bullies. They're bullies. If you don't give me this, if the PSC doesn't give me this rate increase, we're going up more.
Let's do it. If you speak, you only have about a couple minutes left anyway, but if you speak to the bill, please. I mean, as far as how Georgia Power or any other company, performs their business or anything like that, that's not part of the debate here.
Well, I was just addressing a situation, some of the comments Georgia Power's attorney made, or their spokesperson made, but we met with farmers 2 months ago when the documentary film crew came to Georgia doing a documentary on free market environmentalism. We met with farmers in South Georgia in the Vidalia district, Vidalia area, that had family farms that have been in their farms for generations. They begged us to open up the market for solar. This could save a lot of their family farms if we opened up the market. They want to be able to either lease their farmland for solar panels, or they wanted to actually generate energy in a community and sell it to businesses nearby. And we plan on having farmers from South Georgia come to the Capitol during the legislative session and talk to you guys. So this is farmers in South Georgia. I'm a Georgia Power ratepayer. I'm captive. I don't have a choice. I'm forced to pay an atomic tax on my bill every month for Vogel. The legislature intervened and passed legislation that would allow Georgia Power to pre-bill us by adding this CWIP atomic tax on our bill every month.
I want to add that your time is up. I appreciate you coming. Thank you very much. You do have questions if you care to take them.
Yes, I'll be more than happy to.
Chairman Martin.
Okay.
Ms. Dooley, if you wouldn't mind, you said if this bill wasn't voted out, we were against the free market. As it's written, it's a monopoly.
That's been changed, sir.
No, ma'am.
It said a
monopoly.
community, you are allowing okay, do we have a monopoly now?
Ma'am, we have a regulated utility, and I understand you have a problem with it. And
Yes.
That's fair, okay? But we have a regulated utility, just like we have CON in this state. So to some extent, we have monopolies throughout our healthcare system. That you can't build a CT scan or a this or that unless you go to the community health board and they say you need it. So I think one has to be careful, and you and I may just have to disagree.
Yes, we do.
But when you call it a monopoly, the fact is when you wake up every morning, you flip the switch, if it's not there, they have to have somebody to come out there. It's not like the cable, I won't get into the brand names, it's not like the cable TV folks or the phone folks. I mean, where you have a choice, but they don't have to be there when you call them. So I think we just have to recognize that one has to be careful because the company is doing what they were required to. Way back in the 20s and 30s, when somebody wanted to live out yonder, if you will, that company had to build lines. Still today, if you decide to build your house in the middle of your land and they have to draw a feed out to you for a mile to you just to get to one house, they'll never make up the cost of that. All the rest of the rate players in Georgia do that. That's what was put into place because of the regulated utility system. So, I mean, if you have a problem with the regulated utility system, then you have to change more than you're talking here. If you wish to advocate for deregulated utilities, that's a fair conversation. This bill doesn't do that. And that's just the point I wanted to make. It is, as it is written, still a monopoly.
My understanding.
He said he was going to change
that's
it,
right.
But today it's a monopoly.
Okay,
and
but
we have to go with what we have in front of us.
Okay, but it is being changed, and it will give consumer choice. It's a national security issue. I would encourage all of you to actually go to, if I have it posted on my Facebook about the dangers of our grid system. This report.
Ms. Dooley, I'm sorry. I mean,
Okay. Well, you know, considering the influence Georgia Power has, I'm not surprised. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You do have more questions if you care to take them.
Okay.
Okay. Chairman Geisinger.
I'm only going to make one statement in regards to the grid. When the grid's down, you're not going to deliver any solar power.
I can at my house.
Well, do you have arrays on your roof?
If I had solar arrays and the market were opened up in communities, yes, you would. You could go back up with a grid, then it could take Georgia Power.
Excuse me, how are you going to get that power to your home?
The power to my home. There is a unit or a piece of equipment that connects to the grid. And yes, you can power your home with solar arrays. Walmart.
On your roof?
Yes.
Yes, that's understandable. We're not questioning that. But you start talking about the grid being down. If the grid's down, the whole nation will come to its knees.
Right, but if under a terrorist attack, if you had a terrorist attack, certain substations, key substations and transformers and hurl projectiles, I'll be glad to make that report available to everybody on this committee. It could take the grid down for 2 weeks, have to repair it. Look what happened with Sandy, Hurricane Sandy. People that had solar were up when for all intents and purposes.
They were supplying themselves.
Right.
That's different than a solar farm who cannot get the power to the individual.
But if this opens up, it will open up the solar, a community financing. It will open the way for more people.
You can do that now. You can put solar arrays on your roof.
Not to allow to finance solar, you can't do
We'll
that.
discuss that later.
Okay,
Thank you,
but,
Mr. Chairman.
okay,
Thank you, Chairman. You have a couple more questions, you're take them.
okay.
Representative Dickey, you have a question?
Thank you, Mr.
What
Chairman.
number is yours?
25.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I guess Chairman Guy Singer here just kind of went on that lines. We certainly have heard other people here today talking about the growth of solar, consumers, commercial. It's certainly happening, and it's certainly nothing that I know of that prevents consumers from installing solar on their homes now. I don't understand we've got choice. You can certainly put solar, unhook from the grid, and go about your own way and try to be as self-sufficient as you can. I don't understand the choice problem you have.
Because the bottom line is, I can't go out to a solar company and purchase, if I want to purchase solar energy from them or from a solar farm, or if a business wants to do that, I have to buy it from Georgia Power. It's like being told, well, if you want to get this commodity, you've got to go to Walmart, or you've got to go to
Are you telling me
Kmart.
you can't go purchase solar panels and put on your home?
Power.
Oh, you want
Yeah, I think,
it from a company?
yes, and I believe this bill will open up the market and will allow competition to Georgia Power, which is something that apparently, I mean, anybody that wants to go and find out how much clout Georgia Power has needs to look no further than members of the committee, that I am seeing.
That's not necessary.
I have to stop you there.
Okay.
Thank you. Representative Holmes, you have a question?
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, Ms. Dooley, we are very fortunate in the state of Georgia that we have MEAG cities, we have EMCs, and we have Georgia Power. They give us very affordable, very reliable power, and have done this for a long time. I'm having a very difficult time with the bill simply because the EMCs and Georgia Power are already provided. They're in the solar business. The decision by the PSC to sum for Georgia Power kept them, ensure that they are in the solar business, providing solar power. Please, can you very simply help me understand why we need this bill? That's what
For the best interest of the